Well, welcome back on our website building project. And just to bring you up to what we're doing here in Adobe Photoshop. I don't know what happened here. Come on. Come on. Sometimes I gotta love working on this little bitty Macintosh notebook. On this Macintosh, come on. Show me what I'm actually doing. We had student Whitney Riker, and she has built this mock-up. And her question was, how do you get this particular banner out of this mock-up and into a real web page? So what I've been doing is taking apart this piece by piece, exporting the graphics, and getting ready to build a web page based on her mock-up. Now, since she's the designer, I need to make it as close as possible so that I don't get in trouble, and so she don't sue me and say that, oh, you ruined my mock-up. It looks like I accidentally changed the color of that. This is supposed to be white. I don't know what I did. Alright, back to Photoshop for a second. So now that I have a lot of my images exported, if you watched the last video, you saw that I did the banner. I exported the navigation bar. I exported this as a repeating background that's going to go so that it can expand. It can get bigger and smaller. It has to repeat so that it can do that. I have the bottom of that, which is basically, it's basically just the top that I turned upside down. If I go step backwards, you can see that's the top, and all I did was flip it and save it as the bottom. So I didn't actually have to slice this bottom piece, I just simply flipped the top piece. That way they're both even and they're exact duplicates. Probably an unnecessary step, but so I have all of the images sliced, and now it's time to start in Dreamweaver. And I apologize in advance if this is a little bit lengthy. I've tried to make it as short as possible. First thing I'm going to do is start in Code View. And this is, you put in the full title. Now, if you're smart, you've taken a piece of paper and pencil and you've drawn out what we saw in Photoshop. We divided up this top bar. We divided up the navigation bar. So these are boxes. So I know that I need a box for this top part. I need a box for the second part. And I need a box for this main part. But look, this is going to get divided up into two more regions, isn't it? So I'm going to have further divisions. So it's blocks within blocks. Alright, so it's really important that you start drawing these out. If you don't work this out on pencil and paper, it's just going to bite you in the butt. I can kind of keep it in my head, but if I'm doing like a really crucial, time-intensive kind of site, I guarantee you I work things out on pencil and paper. I have pencil and paper right here. Whenever I did those banners, the navigation background, I took notes on the sizes. So use pencil and paper, it won't hurt you. So I'm going to start out, I have my body tag, and I'm going to put in some div layers. Div is a box. So let's start putting in our boxes. So what's the first one we need? We need our wrapper. So our ID is going to be wrapper. And then we're going to close that. I'm going to make myself a note, and you do that with exclamation mark, 2 dashes. This ends the wrapper. 2 dashes. That way if another web designer comes along behind you, they also know what you've done. I'm going to add a space there. And also it's really easy to lose track of which box is inside of which box, and you get boxes going everywhere, so it's really important that you keep track of what's what. I'm going to make another ID. This one's going to be for the banner. This is the banner box. Okay. And I'll go ahead and indent that. See how I indented this entire banner with my tab key? I'm going to tab in, and that will give me kind of a knowledge of where these divs, what is inside of what div, because some of these are containers. The wrapper contains all of my other boxes, so I want to make sure that I keep track of what's inside of what, because before we're done, we're going to have a lot of boxes inside of other boxes. And I need to know what is the parent container. Div ID is navigation, and div in navigation. Okay. Now we're going to have a lot of different boxes for the content because content's a little bit complicated. Let's go back to our Photoshop, take a look real quick. See, we've got this very top with these curved edges. This is its own box. And then we have another big box that has just the basic background. And then we'll have a little box to have these other two curved edges. So there's actually 3 boxes here for just this content. And it's so that we can have these curved edges. So let me go back. I'm going to run out of time really quickly on this project, I can tell. With any luck, I'll get through this basic coding. But I better code like the wind. And yes, I always do this. I don't use a lot of WYSIWYG tools. A lot of coders do not. So, this content, I need a wrapper around my content. I need a big box to put my little boxes in. So, I'm going to make this wrap. Just so I have a big old shoe box that I can put my little boxes into. And so I will indent and put div ID. What should we call this one? We should call this content top. And div, put a note. Some of these smaller ones you don't have to notate as much as some of the other ones. Div ID equals, we'll just put just basic old content, since that'll be our text. I won't notate that one, it's pretty small. Equals content bottom, BTM, and div. Okay, and then make sure my content wrap is ended. Yes, it is. Most common mistake new web designers make is one of these tags will not get closed. If you have a box that isn't closed, one of the things you can do is look really quickly at the color, because you'll have something that's not colored correctly. See, the IDs are light blue, the code is dark blue. If you have something that's colored kind of strangely, your code's wrong. It's not a mistake in Dreamweaver. You have done something, you've screwed it up, so just stop and go back through. Don't panic, just know that something's screwed up and fix it. I can say that because I've been screwing things up for a lot of years now. Okay, now I need to make sure that my wrapper ends. Okay, the wrapper is ending down there. End body and HTML. So now that we have our basic HTML page done, now we can go work on our CSS.